Hi everyone, this is Smriti. Welcome to my channel QAAutomationClasses. Hope you all are doing good. So we are still continuing on our functional programming sessions, and up to last session we have completed functions, right? Different types of interfaces which are available in the java.util.functions. Okay, so today is going to the last session where we will see some more example where we are going to see the combination of the function, predicates, and the consumer. Okay, so before going to that example, I just want to do a quick recap of what we have completed till now. Okay, so I have prepared this document here. So I have listed out all the functional interfaces, what is the respective method, what is the input type, what is the return type, and what is the usage. Okay, so let's go over it once and then we'll go to the last example for this session. Okay, so the first one is the predicate. Okay, so for the predicate we have the test method. Okay, and this test method takes any input type, whether you define you can give only like integer, character, float, right? Or you can define your class type as the input, right? So these are the input type, and return type, always it returns a boolean, right? Either true or false. Okay, so uses, it is used for checking condition. Similarly for the by predicate, okay, same test method, it takes the two argument, right? So suppose you want to pass two argument, one is integer, one is string, or you want to pass two class type of argument also, that is also fine, right? Or any combination, that is also fine, but you have to remember, you have to only pass the two input type. Okay, and return type here also always boolean. Okay, and this is also used for the checking the condition, right? So okay, so now coming to the third one. Okay, third one is the function, right? So in function we have the apply method. Okay, so function take any input type. Okay, so it will take any one input type. Okay, and any return type, there will be only one return type. Okay, you can specify anything as the input type, and anything you can specify as the return type. Okay, so you want to return integer or character or float, anything you want to mention as the input type. Similarly, depending upon your calculation, suppose you want to return some value, that you can mention as the return type. Okay, so that's what I'm saying here, to do some calculation and get the result. Okay, so this is the use of the function, right? And next one is the by function. So by means two, right? We already saw by means two. So two by function, what it does, it takes any input type. Okay, so two input type it will take, and it always returns any one return type. Okay, so any type of data you can return. So here also you do some calculation and you get the result. Okay, and then the next one is the consumer. So consumer has the accept method. Okay, as the name suggest, it's consumer, right? It's going to consume something, so it has the accept method. And any input type, so you can pass any input type here. Okay, it's a consumer, right? And we are saying no return, means it doesn't return anything, so it's going to consume something but it is not gonna return anything. Okay, so in what case exactly we are going to use consumer? To do some operation and not to return any value. Okay, so if you want to do some operation, you want to print something, right? So you don't want to return anything, so you can use consumer there, right? So that is the use of the consumer. Similarly by consumer. Okay, so by consumer, there also accept method, it also takes it takes to any input type and no return type. Okay, so always remember, consumer only consumes, it never returns anything. Okay, and to do some operation and not to return any value. Okay, similarly the last one is the supplier. So supplier means it supplies, right? So it has a get method, and it doesn't take any input, and it returns one input, any return type. Okay, and depending upon your calculation, suppose you want doing some arithmetic operation, you want to return the integer or float, you want to doing string manipulation or anything related to string, and you want to return the string, then you can do that. Okay, so this is like a summary of what we have discussed till now. Okay, so please go through it once and let me know if you guys have any questions. Okay, put down in the comments. So now let's go to the example. Okay, so the problem statement. Okay, So I'm going to have a problem. Okay, so I have a problem and I want to solve it with the help of the combination of the function, predicate and consumer. Okay, so you all remember this one, right? Multiple functional interface. Let me open that package. Multiple functional interfaces. Okay, right, let's see. Oh, okay, so now let me create a class here. Okay, so the name of the class, I'll say function, predicate and consumer. Okay, function, so three things I'm going to use here: function, predicate, okay, and consumer. Okay, consumer. So okay, so let me tell you the problem statement, what I am trying to achieve here. Okay, so I have the student. Okay, and for the student I have a course fee, right? So I want to increase the course fee by the 50% for each of the student. And if the course fee is, after increasing that one, if the course fee is greater than 4,000 or 5,000 whatever, and the student is enrolled for the placement, then display the student detail as well as the incremented course fee. So three things we did, right? So increase the course fee by 50%. So what we are going to do, we are going to do some calculation. So what to use in case of calculation, right? So function, we are going to use the function, right? And then verify if the student's fee is greater than 4,000 or 5,000. So we want to check some condition. For that, what we are going to use, predicate, right? And similarly, the student is enrolled for the placement, one more condition check, there we can use one more predicate, right? And display the student details as well as the incremented course fee. Suppose you want to display something, right? You don't want to return anything, you just want to display. So for that, what we can use, consumer, right? So use a function. Where to use the function? In the calculation, and condition checking, go for the predicate, and then displaying something, right? You take an input and just do some operation and doesn't return any value, you just display something, so consumer, right? So these three things we are going to use. So okay, let me copy the student class only here. I can create a separate class instead of copying everywhere. Okay, fine. So now same, I can have the list of the students. Okay, these 5 students. Let's see. Right here I can have this one, right? So now I have to create the student array first, right? Okay, so let's create the student array. Student, okay, array. I'll say students equals to, so I can put here s1 comma s2 s3 s4 s5. okay, so 5 students details I'm putting into this array. Okay, after this clear everything. Okay, so now I have to start writing the conditions or the lambdas I can design, right? So first problem statement is increase the fee by 50%. okay, increase the fee by 50%. So here what we are going to do, we are going to do some calculation, right? So for the calculation, what we can use, right? Let's see, this is what we are going to use for the calculation, right? And get the result, function, right? So let's define a function to achieve this problem statement, to solve this problem statement. So let's define a function then. Okay, so let's say function. Okay, so now in the function I am going to define the function. So what does the function takes? Function takes one input argument and returns any return type, right? So you need to provide two things, one input type and one return type you have to provide. Okay, so now let's see. So increase the fee by 50%. okay, so it is going to increment the fee by 50% and return fee, right? So what it is going to return? It is going to return the fee only, right? So fee is the integer, right? So here we have seen the int fee, right? So fee is the integer. So the return type we came to know it will be integer, right? But what is the input type? The input type is nothing but the student type, right? So I'll say student, okay, and integer, okay. So right, all right. So function, so input type is the student, right? So and the return type will be integer, right? So I'll say something fn, okay, so equals to, now write the lambda, okay. So for each student, okay, I'll write like this, for each student is, okay. So now I'm going to say, let me import this one, import java.util.function, right? Yeah, right, okay. So now let's write, it is showing some return type is missing, right? So we have to write that one as well. So now let's write, so first I have to retrieve the course fee, right? So I'll say int, okay, course fee equals to s dot, right, s dot fee. So I am retrieving the course fee. So after retrieving the course fee, what I am going to do, I am going to apply a 50% incrementation on top of it, right? So now let's say course fee equals to, right, so I'll add course fee plus, okay. So now I have to add 50%, right, 50% on top of it, right? So how to calculate the 50%? Course fee plus, so let's take a bracket, okay, and now let's say course fee into 50 by 100, right? That's how it is get calculated, right? Plus course fee into 50 divided by 100, right? Okay, give the semicolon and I can return, oops, course fee, right? Okay, and I can directly mention here return, okay. So int course fee equals to s dot fee. So first I am retrieving the course fee, retrieving the fee and putting that into, assigning that to the variable course fee, and then I am saying course fee equals to course fee plus course fee into 50 by 100, okay. So that's how I am going to return the course fee, the incremented course fee I am going to calculate and I am going to return. So first part is done, right? And then the second part, okay. So the first part, increase the fee by 50%, okay, this is done. Now let's go to the second part. Second part, what we were trying to do, we are going to check the predicates first, right? So you are going to use the predicate. Second part is we have to check whether the what you can say, whether the price, right, the fee is greater than, so here let's see, calculate if it is going to get incremented by 50%, 9,004 and a half, 7 and a half, 6, okay, 12. So let's keep 5,000 as buffer, okay. So let's see, the checkpoint is 5,000 if the course fee is greater than 5,000, okay. So let's define a predicate for that one, okay. Predicate, okay, I'll say integer, okay, and I'll say p1, okay, p1 equals to, now let's have the actual predicate. So actual lambda is, so I'll say is greater than 5,000. So this is one lambda, this is what I want to use, okay. So p1 import predicate, right. So this is the first predicate. Similarly I can have the one more predicate. So there are two conditions, right? So the amount should be greater than 5,000, okay, and let's see, anything is less than 5,000, okay, 3,000. So let me make it 6,000. So that this 4,000 plus 2,000, 6,000, this one will also come, right? Okay, it's 7,000, okay. So predicate integer p2, okay, equals to s dot is, what is this, is enroll for placement, right? So we'll say why, okay, let's see, dot is enroll for placement. Okay, so now we need to see cannot be resolved or not a field. Why am I missing something here? Boolean is enrolled for placement is there, right? So that value is also I'm passing, right? So I'm saying p2 is enrolled for placement. What is the problem here? p2 equals to, let's say, okay, I'll say this dot, it's not coming actually, let's see. Okay, so now let's say predicate, second option is enrolled for placement, right? So this is enrolled for placement is part of the student, right? So I'm typing integer, so it won't work. So let me put the student. Okay, so I'll say p2 is lambda, okay, is dot is enrolled for placement. Okay, so these are the two okay, so these are the two conditions I'm going to check. Okay, here let me put check if course fee greater than 7,000 and student is enrolled, okay, into program, placement program, okay, that's fine, enrolled into placement. Okay, so now the third thing, right? In the first thing is done here, second condition checking is done here. Now the third thing, okay, so third thing is what I'm just going to, display, right? Display what I'm going to display, let's display the details of the student. Okay, so for the displaying I need to pass a argument, right? So which thing which can, what we can use here, we have already used the function, we have already used the predicate, right? So for the displaying, let's go and see, can you use consumer, right? So it will take any input type and it doesn't return anything, so it is perfect for the display kind of activity, right? So let's use and let's write a consumer for this one, right? So now let's say consumer, okay, so consumer, it takes one type of argument, right? So student, right? So it will take a student, so I'll give it c equals to, so okay, is, let's design the lambda here. Okay, so this is just for the printing, right? So I'll say system dot, it won't come, before that let me put consumer, okay. Like something like this and then input it first, import consumer. Okay, so here I'll say system.out.println. so what I'm going to print first, I'm going to print the student name, right? So let's say student name is, okay, so student name is, I'll say plus h dot name, right? So this is the student name, and then on top of it I'll say something else, for student name, and then I can say course, right? Course, okay, give a space before actually, course, then I'll say is dot course, okay, and similarly I can say fee, right? Fee is, okay, Now I'll say plus s dot fee. Okay, s dot fee, then plus what else we are going to pay, print is enrolled for the placement, right? So let's say enrolled for placement flag is enrolled for placement flag is okay, so plus okay, so here I'll give s dot is enrolled for William, right? Is enrolled for placement. Okay, just remove one semicolon, right? Okay, so now I have designed everything here, right? So consumer also I have designed. So here is to print the student details. Okay, print student details, right? So now I have to apply these things in order. First I have to increase the fee by 50%, and then I have to apply these two condition checking, these two predicate, and then I have to call this consumer and print it, right? So now how to do that? Okay, so in order to do that, we have to iterate through the student array, right? So how to iterate through the student array? We can use a for each loop. So let's say for, so you say student st in students. Okay, students. So now you will say okay, so for student st in the students. Okay, so for each of the student, what I'm trying to do, so first let's retrieve the no, not retrieve. First we will apply this one, right? Increase the fee by 50%, right? So we have to pass the student and return type is integer. Okay, so for each loop, okay, we're going through the students. This is the one, right? Where did we define the student here, right? Students. Okay, so for student st in the students. So now first thing is we have to apply the function. So for that, let's say fn dot, okay, apply, okay, student st, right? So now I am just going to apply the okay, let me store it in the integer type value, right? Int new fee equals to function dot apply st. Okay, so here what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to whatever the value, incremented value of the fee, I'm trying to assign it to a new fee. Okay, so then what I'm going to do, okay, so now suppose for each of them the new fee is got calculated, and for each of the new fee I have to use these two predicates, right? So how to use these two predicate? So first one is predicate p1. I'll say p1 dot test. Okay, so test. So what I have to pass here, I have to pass the new fee here, right? New fee, right? So when I'm passing the new fee here, what happened? p1 dot test new fee, right? And then this is the condition check we need to do, right? So if the new fee p1 dot test, like it will go and check if the new fee is greater than 7,000, right? So let's put it in the if block, right? Let's say if p1 dot test new fee, okay, and sorry, and two things, there are two predicates, we need to have one more condition check, and I'll say and, okay, and p2, okay, dot test. So test, it takes the student type of argument. Now we'll go here, we'll pass student, and here what we are trying to do, we are trying to check whether for each student is enrolled for the placement flag is true or not, right? So if p1 dot test new fee, right, up to this everyone is clear, and p2.test.ht, right? If it is working, then let's do this one. Then the next thing, what is the next thing? Here we are going to if these two conditions are satisfied, finally we will calculate the incremented fee. After the incremented fee is calculated, then we are going to verify these two predicate. If the new fee whatever is calculated that is greater than 7,000, and if the student is enrolled flag is true. Okay, if both are true, then let's call the consumer and print it, right? So I'll say consumer is C, right? C dot accept student st. Okay, so now it's gonna print the student details, right? So now let's run and see what is the output. Error exist. Where is the error? That's okay. Okay, so here if you see, student name is Josh, course fee is 6,000, enrolled for the placement flag is true, 5,000, 8,000. Three things are coming in the response. Okay, so okay, so I forgot to print the new fee. Okay, so that's why it is printing the old fee here, right? So let's use this SOP statement. Okay, so I'll say okay, incremented course fee is okay, so I'll say incremented course fee is plus new fee. Okay, so now let's see this new fee, right? Now let's run it and see the output. Okay, so now if you see here, right, so student name is Josh, course fee is 6,000, enroll for placement flag is true, incremented course fee is 9,000, right? So we are checking if it is greater than 7,000 as per the new incremented fee. If you see, all the incremented fees would be greater than 7,000 here, and the flag should be true. These are the two conditions, right? So right, so fine guys, so this is how we can combine the multiple things, right? So we combined here the function, and then we combined the multiple predicates. Here we had the multiple predicates to check, and then we had the different consumers here, right? So this is how you can easily do this. Okay, so if you have multiple things like that, you can use this kind of approach to achieve them. Okay, so that's all for this session guys. Thank you. So thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get notified about the new videos. This is Smriti signing up for today with a promise to learn something new tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye bye. Thank you.